your very first LEJOG, right?
First LEJOG and first rally ever. Yes.
You are in at the deep end.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous.
I drove LEJOG 5 times or 6 times, and I know how difficult it is. And I know that will be very difficult for the Bristol, but we do first the way and second the time.
Find the route first, worry
Exactly.
about the time.
Yeah, he's the navigator sometimes, or I will drive and he will drive, so absolutely new experience.
What is the most difficult part of LEJOG?
I think to keep up the concentration all the time, because it's so easy to make mistakes.
And what is your personal way of keeping that concentration, given that you don't have much sleep?
There's no real plan. It just has to work.
After services behind the rally of the test, there was a leaf spring broken that did some work, and coming near to Land's End and found that both new bearings totally broken. New parts are just now on the way from Vista.
Hero ERA to the rescue. Hurrah!
They're great.
Hurrah!
It is a mini MOT. Obviously these vehicles are quite old, for the fact that it's doing a long distance event. A lot of those sections are carried out in the night, so it becomes quite relevant to see that the wiring is good, batteries are good, and all the lights are working, and just general safety of the vehicle for the occupants, for the distance they're doing. The vehicle is then inspected by an appointed scrutineer, and then a fever card is issued. A lot of people are finding the fever card very handy when they're going on continental events. When they get to border controls are using the card as a reference to the vehicle, because it's got a picture of the car and all the owner's details.
It is a Volkswagen Iltis. It is the origin of all the Quattro cars that came afterwards, won the Rally Dakar once, and they sold very limited numbers to private customers as well, and this is a replica of the Dakar car. Yeah, and quite excited to go on the journey to LEJOG with it. He's a rookie. I did it once a few years ago in an old Mercedes G-Class. Happy to be back. I told him as much as I needed to tell him to get him as a driver. I'm not sure if he really knows everything. Otherwise I would have been here alone maybe.
Nicht schlafen. Wie stehst du? Can't remember, did you finish LEJOG 2 years ago?
We got to John O'Groats, but not on the prescribed route.
And Richard Hamley alongside you is in the co-driver's seat. Very experienced co-driver.
Good. Yes, he's 10th LEJOG. So I've said, prepare yourself for something you've never seen before when it comes to driving.
Right, Paul, Bill, unfinished business for both of you really, isn't it?
Yeah, we both ended up in Chester 2 years ago, and the wheels weren't going around on either car. It was a very sad morning, but it happens.
Bill, comfort again, the Land Crab.
Comes out for the 3rd time on this event. It's a nice car to do it, it's nice and comfortable.
And a new co-driver, a new navigator.
With Emily. Stuart's very kindly lent me Emily, so I'm looking forward to that. I have high hopes.
Great expectations.
Exactly.
Good luck to both of you.
Thank you very much.
LEJOG 2021. Nick, what's in store for them?
Well, I think we've got everything in store for these guys. We've got some simple sections, we've got some tricky ones, we've got a load of tests. Bearing in mind we cancelled last year's event, I've been working on it since the beginning of 2019. We've certainly found some tight and twisty and back and beyond sort of places to visit.
So Nick, tell us about the medal system on LEJOG, the golds, the silvers and the bronzes.
Okay, well LEJOG's quite unique in that we don't actually have a winner on the event, and to get a gold you have to visit all their controls on time. You can be on silver medal position. If the guy who's in gold makes a mistake, he bumps you up by definition of his mistakes, and that's what makes the event really unique.
To finish LEJOG at all is quite an achievement, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah. It's a long way. I've driven it in a modern car, and it's a challenge. Trust me, Could be snow, could be sleet. That's the challenge of the event, And we've got plans to deal with whatever the weather throws at us. But let's not forget the army of marshals. We got marshals from all over the country out on this, and they'll be stood up in the cold and wet and rain at 2 o'clock in the morning, and usually with a smile on their face as well. So.
It always feels quite a nice way to get into it as a navigator. Just getting a test out of the way to warm you up, but as a driver, oh, it's stressful. Don't damage the car on the first test, which we managed, so.
No plans to swap. My legs are too long for the seats, so it is all on Amy's shoulders.
No crosswords as yet, so that's all good. We think we've stayed on the right course.
Early days in the relationship with Richard,
yes.
So far so good.
Oh, we're getting on like a house on fire in here.
That's what we want to hear.
Yes.
That's what we want to hear. Very, very early days, but how's he feeling?
Okay, yeah, all right at the moment, yeah.
Gently breaking it in?
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully not breaking it.
The weather's been kind to you today.
Yes, it has. We did have a hailstorm, but fortunately that came in the side passenger window, so Richard got most of that.
Go!
So far, so good, Pete?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've had a fairly clean run through today. Yeah, enjoyed it.
Owen, the Galant, it's looking good.
Yeah, it's quite fun. It makes a lot of noises, which I'm not entirely sure how long it's going to last, but it's still going. But, it's quite time-consuming explaining to everyone you meet what it is.
It's a Chrysler.
It's a Chrysler, yeah. Don't you stop. Second one.
Kevin, how's the Alpha going? Particularly in the mud and the wet and the hailstones?
Yeah, we got some water in the distributor cap which nearly stopped on one regularity. But no, it's running well, really.
You ready for the night?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, it should be good, yeah.
Tough. It was very hard. First time navigating at night. And so that added a whole new dimension. We found ourselves out of time really before the TC section and short of fuel. For some reason or other we're guzzling fuel, so we just didn't have enough fuel to do the TC section, so we had to sort of cut and run, find a fuel station and then go to the MTC at the end.
Yes, the last section, the road rally section, we missed a slot early on, and from then on it just got worse and worse because we just couldn't keep up to the schedule, and we were dropping time, and we got to the other side of Llangollen and realised we were going OTL, so we had to cut and run to get back into time to get to the finish.
5:30 we went to bed this morning. Yes, not much sleep, yes, correct. Yes, it was hard last night, yeah, the time section.
So LEJOG living up to its reputation?
Well, it's very hard.
Tough and long, but very entertaining. We had lots of fun. It was just amazing. Brakes could be a bit better, but who needs to brake? It's kind of getting forward, so
don't stop.
All good.
It's all you need. It's going well, but the poor little car suffers. So it's underpowered, it's too small, but it gets on the road very well.
So what have you done to the car to make it tough to go all over these roads?
Okay, we took apart the engine, the gearbox, all the suspension, new shock absorbers.
And seat heating.
Seat heating, yes.
Seat
serious,
heating.
yes.
I was just going to ask you about comfort.
It's very cold, so it's seat heated. Yes.
Oh, that's wow.
We've had a really good time. It doesn't even matter that we've had issues. Then there's this sort of massive bang and no gears. So we pulled up, we put the music on in the land crab. We ripped the carpet up, did a minor operation, cut and carried on.
The aim now to get to John and Rose?
Yes, and just not do any weeping, really.
The clutch is gone, it's slipping, so oil has got into the clutch and trying to clean the clutch out so we can continue. Hopefully.
First day was quite a tough day. Yeah, we were exhausted. But okay, we are here again and we enjoy it. Beautiful scenery today. Wow.
I have to say congrats to the route planner. It's really an amazing route with the best the UK has to offer. It's been an absolute pleasure to drive here on these fantastic routes.
We're down to bronze, unfortunately. It's been a very difficult event. I think the navigation in particular is very difficult. The regularities, you've got map reading to do in conjunction with jogularity instructions. So it's a lot for the navigators to cope with.
Making the conversion from the tables to the plotting. And not having the distance on the maps. That's for me the most difficult. But we are trying and learning. That's a good thing.
And we were doing very well on the navigation, so and not a lot of traffic on the road, so we could really enjoy ourselves, and that's exactly what we did.
The weather's been on our side. Yeah. We've had a lot of rain, but we haven't had any fog, we haven't had any snow. But I believe there's snow in Scotland, so we'll have that tomorrow.
It is going, yes, we've done various things to it. The guys did a great job in the night, a couple of the mechanics. Managed to get the timing back in, tuning it back up again, and yeah, we're off and running now. A little suspension problem, but apart from that, here we go. John O'Groats, hopefully.
How are you doing, guys? What is it, electrics or
Electrics. Hopefully it's just a fuse.
Yeah, we've had a few electrical problems and thought we had it fixed. It's the alternator now we've narrowed it down to, so we're just trying to source an alternator to get it fitted to keep us on the road.
The exhaust look very, very low at the back. Are they hitting at all?
Yes, we are very low and we have problems with the roads. We are very often on the road with the body, so that's why we have to go a little slower than maybe other cars.
What do you think of LEJOG?
It's just unique. You don't get roads like that in Europe.
It's an amazing event. It's just throwing everything at us. It's brilliant, isn't it? And what do we have? Rain and sleet with no sleep at all, and this is just brilliant.
Stinging the tail coming up, and you've got to get through the night as well. So how's your endurance?
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Mike is an air traffic controller, so he's used to working nights. And I just drink lots of water.
What about this last section now, through the night, the stinging the tail? How are you going to play this?
Well, we will try to continue as we did, so it went all fine so far, and we tried to be steady and concentrated and to keep on going.
Bjorn is doing a good job on the maps?
Oh yeah, fantastic job, absolutely, he's outstanding.
Are you still in the medals?
We are.
Which one?
Still on gold.
Good boy. Good boys. Since the Queen's Ferry Bridge, conditions have changed somewhat.
Oh.
How is it out there, Angus?
On the top, it's very loose and a bit scary at times, and there's parts where the wind has blown the snow right across the road again. So the A roads are clear, and the farmers are out gritting those, which is wonderful, but get off the A roads and it's all over the place.
It was pretty icy, I need to say, much more icy than last time, so we had a lot of slippery sections up there, but now it's getting better, hopefully.
That was fantastic, lovely road. But so when I say fantastic, I mean fun. Fantastic fun, not fantastic fast.
Okay, thanks very much, cheers.
So it's coming down.
Christopher, the Loch Ness Monster. Some made it, some didn't make it due to the conditions. You made it. What was it like?
It was very slippery. From the start, it was, even at low level, you could feel the car moving around a great deal.
We just put one of the spares on with the chain already on it and went straight up over the top, all up through the snow. Looks like proper rallying.
We was in about a 10-car queue at the bottom of the hill.
We decided to actually cut and run on that one. The car wasn't running as good, so really in ice, I don't really want to sit there trying to rev the engine.
So it was just a case of sort of grinding your way up. But then, of course, you then have the worry in your mind: how am I going to get down from here? How the brake's going to work and everything else. We were actually rather disappointed to have had it cancelled. I'm not sure how that goes down in sort of LEJOG folklore, but it's certainly been quite interesting.
Fun.
Yeah, well, if you hold an event in December in the Highlands of Scotland, you've got to expect some wintry conditions.
The organisation is, just the amount of marshals, the amount of volunteers is absolutely remarkable. That's the thing. You see them standing out there for hours, freezing cold, and they're all so lovely, so polite, so encouraging. It's actually a privilege. It really is.
Here we are at 2021 LEJOG. You must be pleased with the way it's gone.
Very pleased. We had some interesting weather, to say the least. I'm always happy when everyone comes back to the end, under the arch, and I know everyone's safe and back at base.
I can honestly say I've never driven on ice like I drove last night. It was quite tricky.
I think it's probably been one of the toughest I've been involved in over 10 editions. Had a couple of issues with road closures, snow, ice that we've had to work with. All the teams sort of banded together to get on that.
LEJOG is always a tough event. It's the toughest one we do. It rained, there was ice, there was snow, there was all sorts of things, and this is what makes LEJOG. It is the toughest event in Europe, and we go a long way to keep that reputation. Somebody was telling me that a Dutch crew, for example, watched videos of our LEJOG online, and that's why they came over and did it. That's great. That's exactly what this is all about. Has it been 4 days and 3 nights?
4 days. It's been 4 weeks and 3 months, I think. Every time you thought, oh, now it's getting a bit easier, and then there's another killer section. There's ice, snow, just everything that they could possibly throw in it. And you think, John O'Groats just seemed to get further and further away rather than getting closer.
Oh, it's been tough. If anyone thought Saturday night and the TC section was tough, last night in the ice was something else entirely.
I think this year the ice has been the worst people have said they've ever had, but for me that made it enjoyable. I liked it.
All the conditions last night, everything that was thrown at us, back in Wales, and we're here, the car's in one piece, and we've got around the whole route every control. What more do you need to say?
We are here, no problems on the way, perfect rally, great stuff.
Perfect rally, a little bit icy.
This is how it should be, and this is a great way to drive a car, especially a performance car like our Citroën. It's hard to do it, but it's one of the most beautiful things if you like motorsport.